Hello everyone, I am Dominique Gonçalves and I manage the Elephant Ecology project in Gorongosa National Park. I am very honored to be here and present at the WCN Expo, and thank you all for joining us today. Gorongosa National Park is one of my country's most important treasures. The park is a 4,000 square kilometer protected area right at the end of the Great Rift Valley in Africa. These unique features, this location has supported some of the more densest wildlife populations in Africa. But all these populations and habitats was decimated during a 16th civil war in Mozambique, in which more than 1 million people died in my country. We had peace in 1992, exactly the year I was born, but at that time we had lost most of our natural heritage in all of our country. As an example, in our national parks, and especially in our flagship national park, Gorongosa, more than 95% of animals, large animals, were killed. For example, for elephants that we had more than 2,500 after the war, when we finally had peace, we had less than 200 remained. Elephants were killed for their ivory, and the ivory were traded so the parties could sustain the war. And the meat of elephants and many other wildlife were also killed to sustain a lot of people and the armies that they needed to feed. However, when we had peace, there was also a moment that our leaders decided that it was time to pay more attention in our natural heritage and perhaps change the way of doing conservation in Mozambique, in my country. They said then that the national parks and protected areas should be then engines of human development and give back to the people that they share the land with. In the next video, you'll hear my colleague and friend Larissa explaining what is the park's mission and vision and what is Gorongosa today.
Gorongosa National Park in Mozambique is known as one of Africa's greatest wildlife restoration stories. In 2008, the park had only 10,000 large animals. Today, over 100,000. But the Gorongosa project isn't just about rewilding this iconic wilderness. Inspired by the shared vision of Mozambique's former president, Joaquim Chissano, and Nelson Mandela, there's a deep commitment that the park should benefit the local people. The park provides over 600 jobs in conservation, science, tourism, and human development. Our community health workers reach over 100,000 vulnerable people every year. Our sustainable agriculture projects, like growing coffee on Mount Gorongosa, improve the incomes and the lives of farm families. Mandela was right when he said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So we build new schools, support teachers, and run many after-school programs like the Girls' Clubs. We're working to keep girls in school so that they can have the same opportunities in life as the boys. And every year, we bring thousands of local children on safari in the park so they can reconnect with their precious natural heritage. Some of them may choose to become part of our team, so we provide many different training courses and internships. Students can even study for a master's degree in conservation biology in Gorongosa. We are showing the world an example of what a national park can be. We are Gorongosa.
Gorongosa has attracted the attention of scientists from around the world that see an opportunity to address in real time fundamental questions of ecology, evolution, the rise and fall and shifted distribution of species, and changes in the landscape. All this safe and welcoming environment that the park gives to scientists has also given an amazing platform to many questions to be asked and answered. One of the main species that I've been studying closely is, of course, elephants. And many projects have dealt with the identification and studying the identification and behavior of our elephants and all that has been changing in the landscape due to the lack of their big influence during many years. However, elephants' populations are recovering really fast. Now, since when we had war, we have approximately 1,000 elephants, and it's a great increase from the less than 200 that survived the war 30 years ago. In 2018, myself and colleagues founded then the Elephant Ecology project. The Elephant Ecology project has three main pillars, and this is what I would like to talk to you and present more about today. First of all, our work is a blend of ecology, human-elephant interactions focusing on coexistence, and support of girls' education. In our three pillars, we do an assessment and monitoring of this recovering elephant population using GPS satellite trackers, camera traps, and ground monitoring. We also support our coexistence teams with strategies, equipment, training, and giving a huge push in terms of gender inclusivity and women empowerment. And also for supporting girls' education, we work closely with the Park's Girls Club. To start, with ground monitoring and camera traps, whenever it's possible, we'll go and monitor our elephant population on the ground. The park has a road network, only covers 20% of the park. However, there's still enough to sometimes find some herds and monitor them closely. So we keep building the database of who is who and who is joining who and what are they playing, what are they eating, and if everyone is safe or not. We find that is very important also to record the constantly behavior changes that we're seeing in our elephant population, elephant recovering population. With our camera traps, we will be able to see what is the elephant population and the formal hunting area that Gorongosa is now managing. Since the park started managing the formal hunting on 2012, hunting is ceased, and now the park manages with all the cleaning, basically, of all the things that would be harmful for wildlife in our habitats, and also keeping the place safe and pristine for wildlife as well, looking now in ways of bring more human development and support and bring benefits to the community surrounding this area. We set an array of 100 camera traps in this new area because we always knew that there were elephants there. We could see the signs, we could hear the stories, we could hear the old rangers and the communities talking about elephants, but we never actually had any encounter or seen them. We set a grid of 100 camera traps to assess the elephant population in that area, and because this area is surrounded by many other hunting areas that are not fenced, elephants just roam freely around this massive landscape, and it's quite seasonal. With our camera traps, we were able to see who are there, how many family groups, the age structure, and the size and structure of the family groups, and so on. Our cameras are still there and still providing a lot of information, not only on the elephants, but many more of the other wildlife species that exist in that rich area. The other thing we do with the assessing and monitoring of this recovered population in Gorongosa is using telemetry and GPS tracking to see our elephants, where they go, what they do, when they go. Knowing where elephants are, it's really useful in terms of understanding the ecological and behavior dynamics, and especially now that there's way more people around the areas where they now roam. Areas that they once called home, but now things have changed. As they come back and they recolonize these areas, there's more people, and this brings a lot of challenges to us. Gorongosa National Park has an area we call the buffer zone. In this buffer zone, more than 200,000 people live. It is in this buffer zone where most of our, if not all, actually all of our human development, sustainable development, equity, equality, gender inclusion, and all other programs are specifically directed to. Because we do believe that then, in turn, the community will support the park and conservation efforts. With the tracking of these elephants, we were able to see how they're using the area outside the park, when they leave, where they go, how much time they spend outside and where. And we can see already the difference in seasons, the seasonalities, the elephants who spend more in one community and not in another, and so on. And this has helped us to see and really triangulate information about human-elephant conflict. This information is really important to us to inform and adapt our mitigation and coexistence strategies in the ground. You see, Gorongosa National Park is not fully fenced on the southern border, which is now where elephants basically cross the river. The Pungo River is the only barrier between the communities and the park. So the elephants cross the river and enter the community areas, and many times they wander around where the community has their crops, and then there's a huge situation of conflict. In the most recent years, human-elephant conflict has become a real part of life in the southern border of the park. As in many places near protected areas, elephants often will enter communities and raid a farm. Often these crops are a farmer's total livelihoods, and losing a field means losing an harvest to sell, to feed their own family. So this is a problem that we cannot just leave it unattended. Thanks to all the tracking movement data and also many other work in the ground with our surrounding communities, we have been able now to create more means and work together with the communities to try and create coexistence. And this is one of the things that the Elephant Ecology supports the team. Our coexistence team is multi-sectorial, meaning that many departments give input, such as science, human development, sustainable development, conservation, and others. But the most important part is the community works with us. In order to help build coexistence between the communities and the wildlife, especially elephants, we're using a famous technique now, tested, and used in many other places, which is the use of beehive fences to stop elephants. But these beehives are tended by the people, by the women and men from our communities. They are the ones who take care of them. They maintain and keep them on spot, working well, so elephants could not enter and raid the farms. This initiative is amazing, it's beautiful, because it teaches people how to, develop different relationship with nature, using nature with nature, and not only brings more food security in terms of not having their crops raided by elephants, but also bring additional sweet benefits from the honey these bees provide. Then the other beautiful part of this initiative is that beehive or beekeeping is highly traditionally seen as a man area in our communities. However, the desire to support coexistence and the desire to keep their farm safe is not gender biased. So we now have a lot of women who come together and also being, the leaders of this coexistence strategy in the ground. And this is why we say with the supporting of gender and women and bringing women empowerment to areas of work in our communities that were mostly seen as traditionally men-driven. The last and perhaps the most important work that the Elephant Ecology Project does is support girls' education with the Role Models Initiative. You might remember in the video Larissa talking about Girls Club. Girls Club, which is a club, an after-school girls club to help maintain girls in school and prevent, the rate of early marriage and pregnancies in our communities. With the Girls Club doing an amazing work, some of us used to go and visit these clubs and share our stories. However, it was not enough. And we finally were able, with the Elephant Ecology Project support, we were finally able to bring more women to share the story so the girls can see it. Because we do believe if a girl can see it, she can be it. And the Girls Education Role Model Initiative is a program or initiative that has 3 main steps. And the first one is this beautiful brochure, where it's a brochure, education material that has all the women nominated from different departments in the park, women working in science, conservation, tourism, agriculture, sustainable development, education, health, everything, every woman that work in a different area in the park are nominated, and then they're part of this brochure when they talk about their life, their education, they're driven, and what are they driven for, and they give an amazing advices for the girls in this brochure with amazing pictures of their work as well. And with this work, with this brochure, we hope that the girls, each girl from each club will receive this brochure, and she will study and learn about these many women who just look like them, and some of them are actually from the same communities where these girls are from. And we do hope that this initiative, with this time for them to absorb this information, they will be able to learn, and they see the different possibilities that they can have if they retain or stay in school. The second part of this is that these girls come then and meet their role models, either in the park, or the role models visit the girls' clubs, and they have this amazing time where the girls already know who they are, which role model is visiting, what she does, and they have the opportunity to talk and ask and answer questions about the role models, not only life, personal life, but also career, education, and work life itself. And it's a beautiful treat, not only for the girls that we hope to inspire, but also for the women, my colleagues, that work so hard and break so many barriers of the society about what a woman can or cannot do. And we see that this might be a big change. It's a change that we all need in our societies, because we do believe that by teaching and empowering girls, they will become then the leaders, the matriarchs that will pass this information, this knowledge to other generations, and this will remain in this cycle, just as elephants do, matriarch elephants do. They do pass every knowledge to others and other generation. And with that, we hope that women and girls in our communities, we help preserve and maintain these ecosystems and wild places and wildlife that we all depend on for a healthy and safe future. Thank you.